time. Woo! I definitely watched UFC fights over the weekend, so if you're asking me why I did that, that's why. Adesanya, man, Adesanya! Making his case for GOAT, man. He's making his case. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's your host, the smoothest fingers in the gaming industry, bringing you guys another video. Where have I been? What happened? I don't know, but I'm here now. That's all we need to focus on. Now, in all seriousness, there was just every time I wanted to make a video, it felt like there was another gameplay or some more gameplay dropping for Battlefield 2042 and for Halo. So I decided, look, I'm gonna wait for everything to settle down. I'm gonna make one big video. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna make one for Battlefield 2042, one for Halo Infinite, one for the total of E3, and then we're gonna go back to playing video games and talking about other things in those situations. Also, I wanted to say thank you for the love on the Titanfall and the Battlefield 2042 videos. I know you guys really enjoy Titanfall. Thank you guys so much for it. I continue to love making them. I continue to support it. I know you guys come here for that. I didn't forget about you guys. Even though I cover other video games, I still love Titanfall, and I'm happy you guys have seen it. But for the Battlefield video, man, hey, thank you for the support on that too. And we'll continue to talk about Battlefield leading up to it, as well as Halo Infinite and other video games coming out this year. So let's go ahead and let's talk about Halo Infinite real quick. So I'm going to look over the multiplayer overview, just to have some talk in the background. So I go over it, talk about my thoughts on it, my opinions on everything, what I feel that is good about it, what I feel is bad about it. I'm not going to go through the whole 20-minute spiel or 12-minute spiel, excuse me, but I am going to talk about some of the things that I enjoyed with it and give you guys a little bit of an overrun for it. Link will be in the description down below if you guys haven't seen it yet, if you want to check it out for yourselves. But I'm assuming you've already seen it and you just want to hear my opinion, or you just want to talk about it. So as always, leave your comments in the description below, and let's go ahead and get on in to this Halo. I think that rhymed. I think that might have rhymed. Before we begin, look at this. Just look at the background, man. Look at the background. Oh. Let's go ahead and let's talk about it. Let's go ahead and full screen this real quick. We're gonna look at the Halo and everything that went on with it. I'm gonna skip through some of these parts. I have some notes right here that I'm gonna look at. First thing I wanted to check out was the weapons, right? I want to talk about the kill feed as well. Good thing the kill feed is still at the bottom left, as it usually is in almost every first-person shooter nowadays. However, I wanted to take a look at the graphics of the game, because last year we talked about the graphics of the game. Almost everybody was upset about it or freaking out about it, and I wanted to say they've definitely improved. However, really all they did was add some weathering to the gameplay and to some of it. I did notice there wasn't as much pop-ins in the campaign overview, but again, I'm not going to go through the campaign overview and talk your heads off about it. Wasn't really much there other than the story, and we'll talk about more of that when we get actual gameplay. But we have multiplayer gameplay. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have multiplayer gameplay. And if you can't tell that I'm excited, I got like drool coming off my mouth. Trust me, I'm excited. I am so excited for this. I've been waiting for gameplay of multiplayer and gameplay for all these things and everything they've been talking about for so long. And those of you who subscribe to the channel, who know what's going on in the channel and have been following the channel for a while, you know I have been holding off on the hype for Halo Infinite's at least multiplayer and even campaign until we've seen gameplay. And even with the campaign, we've seen gameplay, but it wasn't enough for me to make an educated decision on whether or not this was going to be the actual game of the future, because I'm a multiplayer guy. But man, look at these armor sets. Look at all the stuff they were talking about armor. One of the #1 things that I really wanted to talk about with Halo Infinite, and I was really looking forward to, was what is going to be the microtransactions. I talked about that a lot because coming from Call of Duty for all these years, and then also being with Halo, we've had that history of loot boxes, supply drops, and RNG elements being in these games, and they have shut that down. Now, does that mean that they're lying or telling the truth? We have to see. This is 343 Industries. We've seen what happened with Halo 5, so we'll hold our tongue and bite the bullet on that one. But one thing that they covered today that I was super excited about is I have this problem with battle passes. I was talking about this on Apex, where I wanted the flatline skin, but I never grinded for that battle pass, and it would have been nice to be able to buy that battle pass, go back and play it, and then being able to use it, or at least grind for it if I wanted to, and that's going to be in Halo Infinite. So I'm really excited for that. If you don't have the time to play for one of these seasons, you can go back and buy the battle pass, and that really just helps them out monetization-wise. If they allow this to happen and they want this to happen, and this is something that they continue to push, they'll just make more money doing this, because why not let the battle passes all be used within the game? I think that's a great idea, and it helps people who may not have the most time for other people. Also, let's go ahead and get into some of the gameplay, right? We can talk about microtransactions, armor coats, armor plates, and everything they're going to be doing with this. There is going to be some monetization, obviously, because it's a free-to-play game, but let's just go ahead and hop into the gameplay. You're not here for all of that. You're here for the gameplay. What are my thoughts on the gameplay? I mean, it looks fucking great. I know there's people in the comment section who be like, stop cussing. It looks splendid. It looks fantastic, man. Look, I really enjoyed seeing everything that I seen. Honestly, I can't tell you how much nostalgia and how much love that I've seen with this, just everything. The gunplay looks great. It looks like they've improved so much. The grapple hook, using the gravity hammer to come over to him, to use that. Looking at some of the armor coatings as well, but also looking at how the armor breaks off of certain vehicles was splendid to see. But the number one thing that I was super splendid to see and super happy to really just want to get into this game and really get to play it was the pickups. You guys know that's what Halo's about. It's about getting to those pickups, getting to those energy swords, getting to the gravity hammer, getting to the sniper, and being able to outplay your opponent once you get there. I'm excited for that. That's really what makes Halo. This is why I think it needs a battle royale, but we'll talk about battle royale later. I think for sure, after everything that we've seen with the gameplay and with some of the stuff, I mean, look how he just puts it in here and he just continues to walk. It's kind of like Iron Man. He takes up that light and he puts it in the middle of his chest. You love to see these things, right? These are creative functions that look really good in the multiplayer. And I know I'm going to be one of the only people who may actually like this, but hit markers. The fact that you know that you confirmed a kill, it shows up on the screen, and you get hit markers for it, is something that's a big positive for me. I've always said that I don't like games really who don't give me hit markers. That's one of the reasons why Valorant's so frustrating to me, is the lack of the hit markers, and I really don't like that. I understand that there's people that do. However, Valorant compensates it with confirming your kill, and it gives this animation. That satisfaction of getting a kill and the animation popping up on the screen, or the confirmation of that happening, is really nice, and I really appreciate the work that went into that on the animation side and the quality of life that they thought about doing that. I could sit and talk about all the little details that they talk about, and I'm not going to do that. Overall, my opinion of this gameplay trailer and everything I've seen is this is exactly what I was hoping for. I am now really excited to see and play this game. I am really excited to see where they go from here, and all the patience, all the time that we've been waiting on the game has now paid off. I would have loved to see more gameplay earlier on, at least a little bit of gameplay, but I guess with everything that I've seen, it still looks really good, man. I do have a couple concerns though, and I'm going to tell you guys that with crossplay, and they touched on crossplay, and they've touched upon everything really that you want to see as far as input-based matchmaking, as far as separating that, not making it console or PC-based matchmaking, but just input-based. I really love to see that. However, I want to hear their anti-cheat. What is the anti-cheat that they're going to be bringing to this game? Because as a free-to-play game, we know most of these games out right now are really struggling with hackers, and hackers are always going to be around. Now, I don't want to see something as intrusive as Valorant's anti-cheat. However, Valorant's anti-cheat, it works. It is something that works. I haven't had any issues with it. It hasn't messed up anything. I don't feel any bad or that anything is being taken advantage of within this anti-cheat. I just don't want it to be that intrusive. But if that's what it takes to prevent anti-cheats, or excuse me, prevent cheaters to buff up the anti-cheat, then I guess that's exactly what we need. So overall, I really loved what I've seen. I love the gameplay. I love the fluidity of it. I love the graphics. I love the gunplay. I really love the aesthetic of it, just to say the least. I really love how they're introducing bots and they're giving a way for casual players to come in and experience that, or just a way for us to warm up. I'm a big fan of bots. Before I get into lobbies, I like to just stay out bots, listen to some music before I go into a competitive environment, or before I play a game. Really helps me amp it up, helps me feel better, helps me just really get into the game and immerse myself back into the game. I loved all that. However, I do have some concerns and some issues with the connectivity and the anti-cheat, but we'll talk about that more as more gameplay comes out and more discussions are brought to the scene from Halo Infinite and the devs at 343. Look, I could just talk your head off all day about Halo, and don't worry, we'll have more videos going on and going up in the future about Halo Infinite. I want to talk about it. I'm going to continue to talk about it. However, reserve your judgments and reserve your pre-orders for a game. Now, multiplayer, again, free to play, understandable. Get hyped for that as much as you want. But let's reserve our judgment for the campaign and getting excited about a game we've always seen before be ruined. We've seen Halo 4 and Halo 5 not live up to the expectations that we've set on this franchise, and with Halo, the expectations are skyrocketed. So let's just dumb it down a little bit. Let's be patient. Let's see how they unveil things. And as the time comes, when this game continues to build up, we see more gameplay, we maybe get a beta, and then we see the game come out. We'll talk more about how excited we are, how the game is, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys for watching the video. As always, bless up, God bless. I'll have a Battlefield 2042 video out for you guys tomorrow, and we'll wrap up E3 on Thursday. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.